Yellow.
Hello,
Hello, are you a
how are
Trump
you?
supporter?
Yes, I am.
All right. What do you like about Trump?
Uh, there's nothing really I like about Trump. I wanted to bring up another subject if that'd be okay.
Okay.
Something that's affecting our employment
Okay.
and no one touches on. You can do the figures. I don't have a computer in front of me. I'm 72 from Texas, and one of the concerns I have, and you can maybe set up another interview with people about this. It has to do with employment. I did some research. I did some numbers on employment in our country. We're losing 3 million jobs a year to the Pakistanis, the Indians, and the Chinese. And I'll explain how I got to that. 3 million jobs that we could have as Americans when the Chinese have this system with all the restaurants in the United States, okay? All the restaurants in the United States, I've been monitoring two of them just in my area. What they do is they get these girls to come in from China 3 to 6 months, work 12-hour shifts every day, 7 days a week. Okay. If you go in there as an American and try to apply for a job, they'll never hire you. Not any color, race, or anything. They will not hire you. Okay. Because they have the Chinese consistently coming into our country by visas and work. So, say 150,000 restaurants across the United States. Pakistanis, they own all the 7-Elevens, all the convenience stores across the country. Try to go get a job with them. They won't hire you. That's 300,000 times 10 employees for each one. That's 3 million people. 3 million jobs that Americans are taken away from because of the Indians, Pakistanis, and the Chinese.
I think it's spilled milk. Do you know what our unemployment rate is right now?
No, I don't do any of that research. I just wanted to bring the attention to what I see here in my neighborhood between Bastrop and Austin. I've monitored these people. What they do is they, like the Chinese girls, they come in with work visas. They can't speak English. You can't get hired there as an American at any of these restaurants. Plus, they take them to a specific house and stay there all night. They're not allowed to go anywhere because they're monitored by their boss who controls the restaurant. And this is happening at two. And I'm sure with some real research, it's going across the country the same way. And think about that. They do not speak English.
You're talking about low skill like jobs. Even if this were to be true, which I don't know how true this is, but
But that's
we're talking
3
about like
million.
a hostess job. But we have 7 million open jobs right now, and for us to start thinking about weird conspiracy theories like this, I would say that whatever they're doing, they're drumming up business here, and every dollar that they pay them is either paid in taxes by an ITIN or a work visa, or the employer is paying them under the table and paying even more taxes by labeling it as income.
I'm not sure how they're working it because I asked a lady, the Chinese one in Austin. I was just doing some research and I noticed that on my ticket, there wasn't an employee there, like they'll give them a number or a name. And I says, well, how do you know who to pay as far as the tip goes when I left the tip for that girl? Right. And she says, oh, we take care of that in the back. Okay. She wouldn't give me a direct answer. So I went again, different time,
They might do
asked the
tip
same
share.
question to a different, and the same thing, they didn't have a name of the person that took care of our table. And usually one of those girls will work like 5 to 6 tables. Okay. So my concern is though, most women that are looking for a job, the single moms and stuff, they go and try to get a job at a restaurant. Okay, just as a waitress, waiter. You can go to Denny's up here and you can ask several of them that they just making ends meet with what they get. The thing is, though, when you've got 3 million jobs being taken over by foreigners that don't even live here other than stay here for 6 months, that's a loss.
It's the most unskilled labor possible. We have 7 million open jobs. A lot of them in hospitality, a lot of them in the food industry. I don't think that's a huge deal. What they're doing is they're also filling jobs that nobody wants to work. Like there's no upward mobility as a hostess at a Chinese restaurant, especially if it's
Right.
family owned. Same thing with 7-Eleven. You're not going to be promoted to owner anytime soon. You're going to be simply just a clerk. And
Correct.
like, I don't think these
I
are
agree.
huge
I
important
agree.
industries to be worried about, and to be, I don't know, thinking that there's some weird syndicate like
Well, like
crime going
in
on there.
basketball, for instance, the students that come out of high school, they want to get a small job somewhere. They can't get it at that Chinese restaurant. They can't get it at any of these hotels around here unless you want to do housekeeping. Okay, Pakistanis and Indians will not do housekeeping. I guarantee you, not one of them. They will never. Never see an Indian or Pakistani doing housekeeping. It's
Okay.
impossible for them to do.
Okay, then
Seriously,
teenagers will do it.
I know that for a fact. And it just irritates me that there could be jobs for our students and the low income girls that might have a child or not have a child between high school and college. And these jobs, I know they're menial, but they're jobs, and they're all. If you look across the country, there's 3 million jobs that someone's doing that doesn't even belong in our country. That's my concern.
We're not like, you realize we have all the economists pointing towards the fact that if we just straight up deport, and 100% of these people that you're thinking about here are pushed out of the country, our GDP would shrink, our job markets would would be real bad. We would see employers probably raising wages, which would be nice, but we would watch their profits fall. There's all sorts of effects that would happen that, all in all, not good. Not good. Like, it would be similar to the '08 housing market crash if we somehow ejected every single one of these people out of the country, and didn't let any of them work. It's not
But
necessarily a
isn't
good
there
thing.
some kind of rules in each state where they can hire? I mean, like, say I wanted to get a job there and they were paying a good raise. Say they're 20 an hour. Just as a point. And being an owned Chinese restaurant owned by a Chinese person, they're not going to hire an American. So how do they get legally by that?
They don't have to. If it's a private company, they can hire whoever they want.
Correct. I do understand that, but I just don't like the fact that they can do it that way. It's like, look what happened. I think one of the companies was kind of not hiring blacks. I think it was at one time. I think it was about 6 years ago.
That's a
Wasn't hiring
protected
them, and they
class.
right, and they it's a protected class. So my point is why when a black person complains about they won't hire me because I'm black, but we can't get into a Chinese restaurant and work there because we're a different race. They won't hire blacks, whites, Indians, or anything.
It just from from a young buck to an old guy,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the term blacks. You can say black people. It's probably
Oh, I
better.
have blacks and African Americans, everything. And one of my sons is half black. Two of my sons, really.
That's
I
okay. That
adopted another
it's
one.
still, hey, that's great. But, you know, just
Okay, I understand.
2025.
I understand.
We'll
But
just say black
they're
people.
African American. Yeah, definitely. I stand by that. Okay.
Okay.
I respect you. Yes. Sorry about that.
Okay. Um.
But it's more in the terms of what happened 6 years ago. It just was saddened at the fact that this one company would not hire an African American, and it was proven because
Yeah.
they lost in court.
There's African Americans kind of outdated too. A lot of them are just
It's just
straight up
black people,
American.
bud. It's just black people.
Yeah.
But there's actually a reason why. So have you ever noticed like Asian Americans? They specifically go towards like nail salons. We'll see Middle Eastern Americans go towards like convenience stores and stuff like that. Have you ever noticed that, bud, Tony?
What's that? I missed the question. Go over it again, real quick.
So you were saying that Pakistani people come in and they purchase 7-Elevens and they don't hire anybody else, which isn't true because that's like that would go against hiring practices. But
That's
there's a
what I was
reason
saying
there,
before. Go
right?
to a
I know
Chinese restaurant.
there's a reason why you see Eastern people specifically in like liquor stores, 7-Elevens. There's a reason why Asian people gravitate towards nail salons, businesses, dry cleaning businesses. It's literally because the government gives them tax incentives to move into communities and open up these businesses, because when immigrants come into the country, we don't want them having to join welfare programs and such, so we give them incentives they get special tax deductions to open up businesses within those communities. But you're pointing at them and being like, look at what these foreigners are getting without it. But this is literally America. This is how this stuff works.
Yeah,
This isn't a conspiracy of Pakistani people trying to take over.
it's not that I didn't bring that up about conspiracy. Wasn't even thinking that on to.
You kind of suggested that the Chinese restaurants in your area are trafficking people. You did
They,
suggest that.
they are, and I can
Yeah,
prove
no,
it.
it's
I can prove
so
it.
the Chinese culture, they typically live generationally within the same households, and there's no reason for them to learn to speak English if they're comfortable with their first language being Chinese.
Why won't
These
their
are these are
handlers?
racist tropes, my
Why
friend.
would they? Why would their handlers not let them out of the house?
You say handlers, it's probably the person that's sponsoring them for their citizenship,
Correct.
which is
That's
probably their
correct.
uncle.
No, it's
When you say
not.
things like handlers, man, that infers that something nefarious is going on. Literally, Asian people, they live in houses generationally. You will see a grandma, a son, and the kids all living within the same household. That's
Okay.
that's very typical, man.
I'm also having a hard time seeing how you know this. Like, I mean, are you sitting outside their house watching the whole time? Like,
Yes.
that's what my
Yes. Yes, I am. I took pictures
That's
at night when
that's
they were coming out of the
Tony.
restaurant, and I was following them to their house. This like a halfway house or something where they all stay. Yeah, yeah, I have
Tony,
because I
that's
reported to
that's
the FBI too.
Hey man, do not do anything like don't ever get that I'm gonna save somebody feeling because I promise you, Tony, you'll spend the rest of your short life in jail. This is not a vigilante kind of situation where you need to go rescue anybody,
No,
right?
I'm saying that I'd like them to investigate some of these restaurants that do that because the girls don't get a break. They don't. You don't see them in stores. You don't see them in restaurants because they're required to stay in that home and don't get allowed to go anywhere.
they might not be
You
leaving
don't
because
know
you're
that.
standing outside in a van with a camera.
Probably because some white dudes follow them around. I'd probably wouldn't leave either, man. You gotta admit, Tony, what you're talking about is kind of creepy. Like if somebody were to say they were doing that to your daughter, somebody was following your daughter from their work to her home, how would you feel about
No.
that, Tony?
How this all started is one of the Chinese girls gave me a
Hey, can
paper
you
one
address
time.
the question I just asked you?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My
Yeah,
parrot was
how would
yelling.
you feel if somebody was doing this to your daughter? If
I
they were
wouldn't
taking
like it.
pictures of them at work and then following them to their home, how would you feel about that?
Well, I'm not taking pictures of them. I'm taking pictures of non-activity.
You said you were taking pictures of them, Tony. This is so
Right.
so
Non-activity. Like,
how would you
for
feel
instance,
about that?
well, I'm not taking a picture of a person.
Tony, you just
When you
explained to
when
us how
you're
you take
getting
pictures of
no,
women at their
not
work and then follow them to their, what'd you call it?
a halfway
I
house.
forget. The halfway house. That's right.
Mhm.
That's literally stalking,
No,
Tony.
because it's different. It's like, okay, you get off work, all of them pile into
Tony,
a
is that your whole government name, Tony? Oh my God, it is.
no, it's not.
Oh, what is it?
You're not in Austin, Texas?
It's
It's
not Tony
son
Lieberman.
of mine. It's son of mine. It's my son.
So you have your son's name on here? Tony
Yeah,
Lieberman is your son's name?
yeah.
This is getting really weird.
Well, I'm not weird. I'm
Not at all.
20 years of service, and I'm a nurse. Just hey, I don't do things illegally. I don't try to harass people. I just
So
am
can
concerned
you at
about
least
their.
acknowledge that the fact that foreigners owning businesses in your area is literally set up by the government to be that way, and this isn't
Right,
some
because they do
conspiracy?
get the Pakistanis and the Indians 400, I mean
Can you say can you
$40,000
not
for a visit.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
How old are
I'm
you
not
again?
trying to win an argument. I was just bringing to his attention and talking about it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Tony, you're good. You're good. Hey, can you maybe promise me maybe you won't do that
I'm not doing
anymore?
that anymore. No, it was just that one time. That was it.
All right.
It concerned me. So I even, it's just like, I don't want to interrupt anything. I am a good person. I really am.
All right.
But I'm sorry I stirred up something that I thought maybe was a concern, but apparently it's not. So you've given me some
No,
good information.
no. Foreigners are allowed to be in the country. They're allowed to own
Yeah,
businesses and do capitalism.
I understand. I apologize. I really do.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, Tony, I appreciate you coming up, man.
But can I listen some more for your different conversation, different It's the first time I've jumped on to
Yeah,
anything. That's why I have
you're welcome to
no
We're
listen.
not
problem.
gonna
You
block
can
you.
you can go to the cheap seats. I'm gonna bring someone else up. I usually just do 1v1 debates.
You want me to mute or something, or I don't know what. I don't
No,
even
we're gonna
understand.
I'm
drop
just
you.
gonna drop you back
He's
down,
gonna
and
drop both of
you'll be
us.
down there
Yep.
with everybody else.
Okay, I am sorry if I interrupted all
You're
this.
totally
Okay.
No
fine.
worries.
You're totally fine.
Hey man, are you having a subathon? I know, dude. I know. What the fuck? It's hey, look. This is the shit I grew up with. I grew up hearing this stuff in the 80s and 90s when I was a teenager and when I was a kid, talking about how people in the Middle East are coming over and they're taking our stores and they're taking our jobs, and then it was Asian people, and then it was the Mexican people coming over to, and bro, it just keeps down the line. He's stuck in the 80s with Pakistani people are coming over to take our. It was literally instituted so that way refugees could have.
It's all right.
This is fucking weird, man. This is weird.